For the first phase of our painting, you're going to want your piece of art paper. You're going to want some painter's tape if you want to have a white edge when you were finished. Otherwise, you don't need to do this. And we're just going to tape down the edges. It also helps hold the paper in place. Just go along each, so you're just covering a little bit of the edge. There we have it. That will leave a nice frame on your painting. So after you have it all taped down, your next thing you're going to need is some plain water, your clean paintbrush, and your watercolors, blue, black, magenta, and turquoise. And the first thing we're going to do is get our brush nice and wet, and then just lightly brush the water across the whole page. You don't want it soaking wet, just lightly wet. All the way down the page. Now that water is going to become our rinsing water. So the first thing you're going to do is just choose a color, dip your brush lightly, and touch it to your paper here and there. Spread it out and then rinse. Blot it off to get rid of that color and go back and choose a different color. And put that on your paper here and there. And they're gonna bleed into each other and mix, and that's gonna give you a cool effect. And just keep going using the different colors. Whatever pattern pleases you. You can concentrate all your colors in the middle. You can do it randomly throughout. If you want, you can brush to make a broader stroke or to blend. Whatever you like. If your water gets too dark and you're not getting clean colors, you can rinse and get new water. You can go darker or lighter, whatever kind of space effect you'd like to have. So now you've got your whole paper covered with color, but it's going to take a while to dry. So you're going to have to wait for the next step for a while. So that's the first step. So now that you've finished your painting for the galaxy and it's drying and awaiting its next step, it's time to do our bubble painting. So with a bubble is layers of soap with water in between. And when you put paint in that water, the paint also gets trapped between the layers of soap. And then when it pops, it leaves the paint behind. So that's how that works. So you've got your 3 colors of paint, the yellow, red, and blue, and you can mix them together if you have more than 3 containers, but you don't need to. You have a little container of clear dish soap, and you want to put a little bit of that into each of your containers. Oops. Soap makes bubbles all by itself. And then add a little water. Don't add too much water. If you add too much water, there's not enough surface strength in the water to hold the bubbles, so you won't be able to paint as well. And just give each of those a good stir up. I gave you 3 different straws so that you don't have to mix your straws when you're stirring your paint. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix with mine. And then when you're making your bubbles, you want to be very careful that you blow out, not suck in. You know, with a straw, that's kind of hard to do because that's what we're used to doing with the straw, but you don't want to drink the paint. I did poke a little hole in the top portion of the straw to help make it a little harder to accidentally suck in the paint. If you do accidentally suck in the paint in the soap, it's mostly just yucky and you can rinse out your mouth. So what you want to do is put your straw into your paint and blow in gently. You don't want to make a big giant mess. And then when the bubbles rise out of your container, you're going to just gently set your paper down on top. And it will leave bubble impressions. And you're just going to do that with all of your colors. You can make them separate, you can overlap them. And when you overlap, the colors will mix slightly, and you're going to get a really cool swirly effect. As well as it's just really fun to watch the colored bubbles grow. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over and over until your paper is all covered with bubbles and you're happy with the effect. Then once again, we have to set that aside and let it dry. Once you have your painting so that it feels dry to the back of your hand, you're going to take the white tempera paint and your paintbrush. Dip it in, hold out your hand like you're getting ready to karate chop, and then just tap, 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 and it will splatter white bits. You want to be careful not to get too much paint like Miss Karen did, or you'll get a big blob there. Well, and as you can see, it kind of gets everywhere, so be careful with this. It is washable, but. And then once you have a nice number of stars that you like, once again, let it dry, and we'll move on to making our planets. Once the bubble painting has dried, you can turn it over, trace something circular, and then cut out your planet. So you're going to cut out your planet. And your planet can be as big or as small as you want. And you can cut more than one planet out. And once your galaxy is dry, you're going to attach that somewhere along your galaxy that you like. And then on your little astronaut, you're going to tape a picture of yourself in between the layers of your astronaut, and your astronaut can float in space, or he can stand or she can stand on your planet, however you like to arrange your galaxy painting. So once your galaxy background has dried, you can slowly peel away your painter's tape. Be sure to go slowly and be sure your page is really dry, because if it's not dry, it will start to pull the paper apart. Mine was not completely dry, I guess. I thought it was. It felt it. This is definitely the trickiest part of this project, waiting for the galaxy to dry. And there you have it. Nice, clean, white edges. So after your galaxy background is complete and you've cut out your planets and you've created your astronaut with your face, you want to put them all down on your galaxy background, and you're going to put a little glue on the back. It can be glue stick glue, it can be regular white liquid glue, and you're just going to decide where you want your planet to go. I'm going to cover up that little white splotch that I made, and my astronaut's going to go right there. And there's my finished picture. I would love if you wanted to share your finished picture with us. You can do that on Facebook. You can email it to me at ksavage@cwmars.org, or you can send it to the library's general account. We'd love to see what you did.